Now, British bank Barclays says it will stop offering banking services to some Somali transfer firms due to fears funds might end up in the hands of terrorists. Somali officials and bankers say the move threatens remittances, which millions of Somalis depend on. They are asking the British government to stop Barclays from closing their accounts. Diaspora remittances are Somali's biggest foreign currency earner, and many of its 10 million people rely on the estimated 1.2 billion US dollars sent to the nation from around the world every year. According to Somali's central bank, Somalis in Britain sent an estimated 500 million US dollars home this year. Dahabshil is one of Somali's best-known firms with agents in Britain and offices in Dubai and other African states. Dahabshil's chief executive, Abdurrashid Duwale, said his firm has been told its Barclays account would be closed.
Up to $1 billion American dollar remittance go to Somalia every year around the world. And half of that, in a way, estimate come from UK. So if the Somalis cannot help their family back home, then how will they survive?
Mr. Duwale says blocking the current channels could in fact prove counterproductive.
With this kind of action, with the Barclays Bank actions, it will increase money laundering. People will use alternative way, illegal way. There's now people who exist, who trade money transfer through illegal way.
In Mogadishu, where commercial banking disappeared in the early 1990s after the fall of dictator Mohammed Siad Barre, firms such as Dahabshil fill the gap and offer money transfer services used by Somalis and international agencies sending cash. Some of the beneficiaries of remittances from Western nations are ethnic Somalis or reside in the Eastleigh neighborhood of Nairobi, Kenya. While it's unclear if the cutoff will affect transfers from Kenya to Somalia, many are concerned about the likely impact it could have on their families.
People will now turn to the refugee camps. That's what is next now. Because like now they are relying on their children, those who are there. So if they cannot able to send money, they will suffer a lot.
We're students and we use the money we are sent to pay for school fees, and that's how we study. You can understand the kind of problems we will have.
Well, the Somali Money Services Association said 12 of its 17 Britain-based members had already lost accounts with major banks in Britain, such as Barclays and London-based HSBC. For more perspective, I'm joined now by Harun Maruf, senior editor with the VOA Somalia Service. Harun, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you.
The question many want to get an answer to is why particularly now? Why is that bank taking that action now?
The bank has not, this is not the first step. We have seen last year one of the major banks in the United States have taken a similar step. So it's a contagion. It spread to Europe now, and it could spread to other countries, major banks saying we're not going to allow money transfer services to have account in our system. And just to make one correction, it does not just apply to Somali money transfer companies. It applies to all transfer companies,
to Somali.
Smaller companies, even to other parts of Africa.
Yes.
But Somalis will be the hardest hit because they rely on so much on help and support from their relatives outside, and because the bank system in Somalia is dysfunctional.
Yes. And in fact, just as Mr. Duwale said, the economy of Somalia has survived despite many years of war, and that it survived because of the remittances. Now, give us a sense of what can happen if this action is implemented by Barclays and other banks.
Well, what will happen, it will have really severe impact on the poorest of the people who live in the countryside, who are getting support from their relatives. As he told you, $1 billion US is expatriated to Somalia every year. That's a massive amount of money. It's more than the aid donation that is given to Somalia. So it's very significant. It will also affect the delivery of humanitarian work and aid into Somalia, because the aid organizations are using this system to pay the salary and also to deliver, to transport goods from one place to another.
But then what options do those who want to send money have? How else can they do it?
The major fear is that ultimately this will lead to criminalization of the money transfer system. And that really discourages many people, and that's the biggest scenario. That's the worst case scenario. But this might not immediately affect the people who are getting support, because there might be other smaller banks that will continue to deal with money transfer services. But ultimately, they could be discouraged as well. So it will have really very serious impact.
And this is mostly not only those in Somalia, but also other Somalis in the East African region and other areas. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
In Kenya, in Ethiopia, in Djibouti, in other parts.
Thanks a lot, Harun. Harun Maruf is a senior editor, Somalia Service. We thank him for joining us today.